We are in Peru, a massive country with massive mountain ranges. In particular, the Cordillera Blancas, a place that some of us have been dying to see.
Pretty much it's just the very beginning of this range. I can't wait to get into this stuff. We just topped off fuel to make sure that we're 100% because we know they had fuel here. Are you ready to drive it?
Ready.
Let's do this.
Expedition Overland is proudly presented by General Tire. Anywhere is possible. And in part by Maxtrax. Take the easy way out. Magpul. Hard goods and apparel. Warn. Go prepared. Icon Vehicle Dynamics. Equipped Expedition Outfitters. CBI Off-Road Fabrication. X-Venture Trailers. And in association with Toyota. Let's go places.
Something to be aware of. Kurt and I have been noticing, and we were betting he read a couple things that off the iOverlander app, is that seems like these guys really struggle with rocks falling off. So I don't know if you noticed, that bus driving by had a huge rock rack on the top of it.
Don't go over that.
To prevent it from getting damaged from rocks. So just as we're driving, parking, camping, stopping, doing whatever, let's just be aware that sounds like rocks are a big issue here.
Copy.
Yeah.
The fear there, babe, is there's nothing under it.
Yeah.
There used to be ground, but it may not be anymore because the water falls off
Sure.
and hollows out underneath it.
Road for about 60 kilometers. It's going to go from pavement to gravel. Conditions are going to get a little worse. And we've got about 30 tunnels we're going to be crossing through. And the big key on those tunnels is we're going to flash our lights and honk our horns as we come into them. Very important, because like these trucks we're passing, they're not going to back up for us. It's going to be us that has to back out of a tunnel.
Nope. Sounds like an adventure.
Today was a pretty awesome day. We made a lot of miles, and we came down from northern Peru, crossed the sand dunes, came across the high mountain sands in northern Peru, and we're making our way up to the Cordillera Blancas, which are the big mountain range in kind of central Peru. These are the big mountains, 22,000 foot peaks. We're going to be going up over some awesome passes that get us up into the 16,000 range, I believe. Tonight we shut it down along the highway heading up into Juarez, the mountain range, or to the town up in the mountain range there. We're camped by a nice river, so we're gonna have hoping for good weather and a good clean night of sleep.
So when we get to camp every night, Heather starts right away cooking as much as she can as soon as the habitat gets set up. I kind of take the role as housekeeper in our casa. So I try to get the tent set up, I get the windows popped, sleeping bags down, so that at the end of the day, at the end of the night when we're all done cooking with dishes, we can just crawl right in and everything's ready to go for bed. First 10 minutes or so before we get to camp, thinking about all of the food that we actually need to cook. Tonight we're doing steak and potatoes. Yeah, so it's just cooking when I get to camp and making sure everything is ready for the guys and us girls, and then we eat.
The last thing I do before hopping out of the vehicle when we arrive to a camp spot is I save our route file from the day, and I'll name our location of camp and put in a few GPS coordinates of places that we stopped. We've been really good about saving all of our route files, and these hopefully, ideally, match up with the plans that we made on our way here. There's some days that we move things and we change things around. We spend a little more time in some areas and less in others. But I'll save them all, compile them all on the HEMA software and press save and call it a day. Then we'll hop out and I help Nate set up our tent. He's my bunkmate. And then we all dive in and help with dinner where we can.
The one role that is specifically mine on this trip is security.
So anytime we roll into a camp, I try to identify as we're rolling up and once we roll there, any kind of potential hazards. Once I feel at peace with that, I take care of anything that makes the hair stand up on my neck. I try to help out with cooking with the ladies. I've been in charge of cooking for a few different trips now, and so I have a little bit of an idea of camp life and camp cooking, and I really enjoy helping the ladies out usually, except dishes. I hate dishes really, really bad.
What I do in camp at night is kind of a mixed bag. Depending on what's going on, I float. And then above all, I think I probably listen, just kind of keeping tabs on the team to see who's doing well, who seems tired, who's sick, make mental notes on how tomorrow could be different so that the team runs as best as possible.
Holy cow. Okay, bro. I gotta say it. That super duper good.
Concerns me slightly.
So can I get in someone else's tent?
How awkward do you want me to make this, Clay?
Let's make it as awkward as it. Oh boy.
Can't hold it.
That's pretty awkward.
Can't hold it. Ugh.
My morning routine is when I take care of all the daily mechanic stuff that needs to be done. It's really just vehicle maintenance. Things I like to check often are our air filters, check our lugs, all of our fluids, and then I do a walk around and check bushings and linkages on our suspension as well. That's pretty much a every morning deal. We do that because it's just preventative maintenance. It takes me roughly an hour to go through all 3 vehicles, and I'd rather spend that hour every morning than have a major breakdown.
Speaking of a major breakdown, leave it to the new guy to destroy something.
Nathan, yesterday you weren't feeling quite well. Tell us a little bit about what happened.
Well, yesterday it's one of those situations where you walk into the bathroom and you just don't really want to use that bathroom. And the thing here too is you put your toilet paper in a giant bucket rather than putting it down the toilet. So I was like, oh, maybe I'll just avoid the whole toilet seat situation and just use the bucket because nobody will know anyways. In my most graceful moment, I slid over the bigger bucket, centered myself, or so I thought, and totally missed. And it went all over the floor. So like a sheepish little boy, I took the bucket, scooted the remains off to the side, and proceeded to run out of there. But I'm glad that Kurt pointed out I'm not the only one who's had this situation. You can tell here, our Peruvian friend Mike also had a bad day on the slopes, and at least I got to keep my underwear, you know. He lost his underwear out here in the White Mountains. Still a mystery what happened to Mike. I'm willing to bet he's out there somewhere.
Mountains are my thing, and I'm super excited to be here, but I've never seen mountains like this, so I'm really intrigued about what's ahead of us. I know that the road itself is going to be a lot of fun. We have I think we have some 30-some tunnels. You flash your lights and honk the horn before you come in any tunnel, because there's big trucks and big buses buzzing up this thing the whole time, and a lot of times it's just single lane pavement.
Pretty stoked to see what we find back there. All this stuff right here is just the foothills to what is even bigger back there. Yeah, we're about to pack up here, head out, and see what happens. All right, guys, you ready to roll?
Yes, sir.
As we travel up the canyon, long, steady lines catch our eye along the sides of the mountains. It turns out that they are foot trails cut by miners. Most of them bootleg prospectors looking to cash in on Peru's abundant resource of gold. It's actually a major problem here in Peru, because the illegal mining operations are a major source of pollution and water contamination, with their less than ideal practices for gold extraction. I just can't imagine the commute these guys have to accomplish the job. No doubt, they are hardy.
incoming bus.
Ooh, that's not much room.
Alright, I think this is us having to move.
All right, back it up.
Shelly, if you keep coming back a little bit, you gotta turn out there on your right side.
Thanks, Jeff.
He's saying it's good.
Before we go completely radio silent here for a little while, I would like to take this moment to wish a very happy birthday to the driver of Rufio. Super stoked you're on this trip, and I hope that your 28th birthday in the Peruvian White Mountains is one to remember.
Thank you, Ty.
Happy birthday, Heather.
Thanks, Blake.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
To you.
Thanks, Shelly.
This road for about 60 kilometers is going to go from pavement to gravel, and conditions are going to get a little worse. And we've got about 30 tunnels we're going to be crossing through. And the big key on those tunnels is we're going to flash our lights and honk our horns as we come into them. It's very important because like these trucks we're passing, they're not going to back up for us. It's going to be us that has to back out of a tunnel. And with our fleet and the trailer, it could be kind of rough. Let's just make sure we're rolling into those with flashing lights and honking horns.
As the road lifts its way from the river's edge, the tunnels become more and more prominent.
We were just probably a third or a quarter of the way through a tunnel, and I was right behind Ty, and all of a sudden he's like, okay, we got a bus, we got to back up. And we have the trailer on Samson, so we had to back up through the tunnel and then into a little turnout so the bus could come by, because we were small potatoes compared to him. That was my first back up under a lot of pressure with like 100-foot drops on the other
You did great.
side. Thank you. It was.
Don't
it was
measure
good.
it in feet, measure it in death.
Death.
There was death.
Certain death. Right,
Certain
right
death.
there. So.
Don't
yeah.
back up, cameraman.
Yeah. Don't back up.
Super impressive, Shelly.
I gotta say, that's the coolest tunnel road we have ever driven. And it's gonna be tough to beat.
We rolled into this little town to go up into the mountains. This is where our turnoff is to hit our mountain pass. As we're coming through the town square, we realize there's a huge party happening. So a bunch of people are here in their traditional wear with their hats and ponchos and scarves, and they're just having fun. So we're gonna experience that for a few minutes.
Peruvians are a beautiful people. And a party is a great way to see a snapshot of their culture.
Ty and Heather found this really cool hat shop. It was literally like this little hole in the wall. They was like, we gotta go get you one. So we went in there, and their hats are really, really small because they wear them on top of their heads. So we had this really cool thing to stretch it out. We had to do it like 3 times because I have apparently a very Gordo head. It was really fun. So I'm stoked. This is like, Ty's saying this is like an amazing wool hat. It would have been hundreds of dollars in the US, and it was $18.
16.
$16.
Yep.
So, and you got some goodies for your girls, so it was really fun. So now we motor on. Here we go.
The mountains from this point are big. Really big. This region has peaks above 20,000 feet.
Are we good?
Wait till you see what's right down here.
Yeah.
Like You want to take a glacial bath. It's gonna be muy frio.
At camp, we have a second to take it all in during the half-light of the canyon. And this place is super special. It's a privilege to overland here.
Feels like we're at home.
Feels like Montana.
It does feel like Montana. It smells like Montana.
There's mosquitoes, just like home. There's rivers, just like home. It smells terrible.
I smell
Is it cold?
Yeah.
Definitely open it up. Let's smell it.
Oh!
It's terrible. It's going bad. Did we just lose a meal?
We did just lose a meal. But we can do ham and cheese, and we'll have enough food.
Yeah.
We done, Nate?
We won't die.
Tonight will be the first night on the expedition that we have started a fire. We haven't really been in areas with a lot of timber around where the wind wasn't blowing, so this is like the best of all worlds right now.
Getting all my little toothpick size stuff together. Ty is working on a fire boat. We are going to go for it tonight. We may fail miserably, but this is what's part of the fun of being in the woods, trying stuff like this. A little bushcraft here. So,
Oh, you bugger. Not a bad one. It's just a bleeder. Dadgum.
You okay? Did you cut your hand?
Yeah, go with what? Guess what?
A machete?
no way.
Back in 2013, when on the Alaska Yukon expedition, Ty had a machete slip from his hand, cutting his knee. Since that trip, he's never been able to live it down. This cut is just more salt in the wound, so to speak.
My finger didn't like it. So, machete number 2.
Here we go.
Second time, and Clay's gonna irrigate me. This is my favorite part. Getting that water shot in my body feels super great.
It's not so bad.
I told you. He was talking about staples.
I haven't ruled it out yet. All right, this is going to be an interesting steri strip. This is going to hurt. You ready? Irrigated it a bunch. It's got good clean around it. It's super tight. We learned it from last time, how to keep it real tight. Wrapped against the other finger, I think you'll be all right. Okay.
This incident causes a full assessment of the medical condition of the team.
Nate, how you been?
A lot better. I can fart without pooping, so it's really nice.
Yeah, this whole team's coming along.
I feel like it's a big success for the day.
No more Gamble gas for Nate.
Got a couple guys wounded tonight. Jeff's not feeling well, and he didn't drive today. Heather drove. And when he gets into camp and he sits and sleeps in the seat, that means it's pretty legit. We are highly suspicious of AMS, acute mountain sickness.
Jeff is crashing fast. I hop on the sat phone with Eric Linder from Team 5 to get some advice.
What we're worried about more than anything is AMS, acute mountain sickness, is kind of masking something else going on. We're not in a situation where we're going to take something like that light.
Yeah, just, is he looking jaundiced at all? We're checking for malaria. So I wonder if you can just kind of self-monitor. If you do wake up, just check your temp.
Yeah, I feel good about that.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
We're close
Jeffrey, I
to.
just want to take care of you.
I just want to take care of you.
Miss you,
Tyra.
Jeffrey.
Despite the mishaps and the condition of the team tonight, we still have some serious business to get to.
My word.
Have some cake and some wine.
So, it's very difficult for me to be surprised, and I am very surprised and super blessed. Thank you guys. This is awesome.
Enjoy.
Didn't decide. So the wine's from Peru though, so that's cool.
So you know it's legit.
So we'll see how it goes tonight, but in some ways be prepared that we have to leave tonight. Because if he gets really sick and we check in on him and he's like crashing, he's got to go down. So have kind of your ducks in a row tonight. That is all.
We crawl into our bags for some much needed rest. It's been a big day. But as I zipped my bag up for the night, the most intimidating sound in the world.
Shut the lights off. I don't know. Okay, I got 2 guys coming down. 3 guys. There's 3 guys. 3 guys with guns and armed.
Hello! Who's that? Shirts! Get your shirt up. No, they want their hands. Whoa, 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 whoa!
Someone had called in our location and the local police didn't know who we were, so they came in the dark with their weapons drawn. We assume that the round fired may have been a negligent discharge.
They were crouched and had their weapons up.
Yeah, one had a handgun out, 2 of them had a
And they were all right. One FML, one AK.
Oh, one was an AK.
Yeah, one AK.
And, the other,
And they were all right here. They were all in everybody's noggin. So that's a first for me.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
That's a first.
I think first for
That's a first.
everyone.
Getting a live gun pointed at me with somebody behind it who wants to have.
Yeah, that's my
wants to
first
use
time
it.
too.
That's as close as it gets to getting shot by police and not getting shot by police.
In a foreign country.
Don't tase
Seriously.
me, bro.
They were parked up there where that bus is coming.
So tonight we'll have 2-hour watches, and we'll just kind of keep an eye out every maybe 5 minutes or so. Walk up here and look up the road, and then just keep an eye out for suspicious driving activity.
Do you want to pack up and leave?
Well, I'm not sure it's to that point.
What are your thoughts, Kurt?
I'm really not worried about those guys coming back. I mean, if they didn't do anything this time when they had the jump on us, they're not going to come back and do something.
I'm not worried about them.
Yeah.
I'm worried about whoever they talk to and say, hey, if one of them is crooked,
Sure.
and they say, hey, there's a bunch of gringos up there with a whole lot of crap.
Go get them. They're pinned in there.
That's not a fairy tale either. Just 1 month before we got here, there was a family that had locals steal everything from them in the middle of the night. All things considered, we decide on 2-hour watches.
So we're all kind of just recoiling from that experience in the middle of the night. Nate stayed up here. He was still getting his shoes on. What's going on, Nate? Where were you in all this?
I was looking for my glasses, and I couldn't find them, of course. And by then, there were already voices down below. And
so we had Nate stay up in the tent, which wasn't a bad move in the end. The 4 of us, so Ty, Clay, Eric, and myself, got our pocket knives out, which was the most arms we had with us. A couple other things, and we could tell it was at least 2 or 3 people based on the number of flashlights. But they killed their flashlights when they got about 100 yards above us on the hill. And Clay was able to tell from his monoculars night vision. He quickly made the call that they're armed, so we knew they were coming in with guns. And we made the call that, hey, we better just light ourselves up and make ourselves known before we startle them. So we did just that. We all stood up and put our hands in the air, and they quickly told us to put our hands in the air as well. Pretty sketchy situation.
And we didn't hear anything, and then Ty came over and he's like, girls, get your boots on. My heart was definitely pumping. So Heather and I started praying hard. If they're shooting, I don't want to be stranded in a tent. Yeah, I feel like that's a sitting duck.
Good call, man.
And then it was like,
good
policia,
thinking.
policia. And I was like, oh, okay, just stay. And I like snuck my foot back in. And Chili was
Norby didn't do that.
And then there's Norby.
What's
What's going on out there?
You want me out there?
You want my glasses? I got my glasses.
They're talking about me.
And then there's Olsen.
Olsen's like going over the truck. We're all Eric.
Olsen.
Eric,
Get over here.
Eric.
And I was like,
Eric.
what is he doing?
Oh. Okay.
Being a little dramatic. Come on.
It was
really
pretty
close.
dramatic, Olsen.
Oh, okay.
And he's in his
Tights on.
Oh, okay. That was really close to going really bad.
Yeah.
And it could have went a lot worse really easily. Anytime you do that, you got to have a debrief and just figure out where are the little kinks, the little screws that we can tighten up. That's all we got.
Let's go.
Sweet.
Pack it up.
Feeling a little bit better. My energy levels are up. Still got a little bit of a fever. A little diarrhea going on, which I'm sure y'all want to know. Yeah, so I'm just going to take it easy today. Sleep in the back of the cruiser probably. It was an eventful night last night, so it wasn't as much sleep as I'd hoped. But I'm on the up and up. so we'll be able to go higher elevation. I think it's just a fluke kind of deal. It's slowly better.
With our delayed start, we hit the road hard to make our miles. Besides, we have some new records to make. We are about to travel over the center ridge of the Andes and break our elevation record for the expedition.
1577, you say?
Yes, sir. 15,077 feet was our max on the side of Cotopaxi there.
Yeah, we'll easily surpass it here, I think.
Yep, I do think so.
This road was just recently finished in 2013 and accesses the world's tallest auto tunnel at 15,535 feet. The drive is absolutely stunning.
Little viewpoint up here, 200 meters. Would you guys like to take a look?
Yes, absolutely.
Copy that. We'll plan on ripping on here.
Amazing glaciers all the way around us. We're a little socked in with clouds, but it's still an amazing sight because all these glaciers are pouring down all the many canyons. And we're at like 14,800 feet and we still have a ways to go.
This road is crazy. Definitely the craziest switchbacks I've ever done, steep-wise. I definitely can't look down while I'm driving it. It freaks me out, which kind of surprises me because I'm kind of an adrenaline junkie, but nope, just eyes on the road and look straight ahead and don't look down.
I mean, you would think that this would be a much more widely publicized road, how neat it is. And it goes up to, from what we understand, is the highest tunnel in the world.
Jeff is officially on the mend. He's 97.8 orally. We're gonna go for a second check.
Nice.
I'm looking forward to seeing the beauty of this area on film. And my eyes shut most of the time.
Jeff is severely under the weather, but a few others are getting that way too. One by one, we're losing them.
Quite an incredible view.
And upon reaching the top, we enter the tunnel, which is just shy of a mile in length. Drilling through the mountain took crews 285 days to complete, and it opened to the public in August of 2013. Now on the other side of the tunnel, to the right, is an old road. If you take it, it will reveal a lake with the greatest color of water we have ever seen. Most people never know it's there. Even though we are seeing such amazing beauty, not all of us are feeling well due to elevation. So our time here is short. It's important that we head down for some relief.
Left here, so go ahead and move right when you can. Fix it.
We're not the only ones who have just arrived in Lima. One of the greatest guys in the world is waiting for us at the airport.
We're at we just made the corner.
Walk down there.
No, we're coming to you.
We're coming to you.
We wore the same shirt.
Same shirt day.
Yeah.
He's got that
There's
camera.
Ryan.
Hey!
What's up, Ty?
Cool shirt, man.
Well, thank you. Nice shirt, man.
With our planning so tight, we only have the one evening together as a complete team. For tonight, we say goodbye to Ty and my wife Rochelle, both bound for home to take care of our families back in Montana.
And with the most natural motion. Bacon keeps on a Traeger grill.
I tidy his bed every night. I get him ready for him.
True. It's all true.
I have standards.
You give him a tuck.
It's been a treat. It's been really fun, and we work hard. She works just as hard to make all this stuff happen, and to have her be here is special. So who knows where we're going next? I do know that you're going to Botswana.
Yeah, yeah.
And then, so yeah, she's got travels on her own coming up, so.
It'll be good. I'll give the boys a hug for you.
Okay.
And we'll do some Skype calls so you can see them.
All right.
Oh, love you.
Love you too.
All right, so this is it. These weeks have gone so fast as they normally do. I think Clay said the first couple nights at camp, he's like, get ready, we're about to enter the vortex. And he's so right, because once you start rolling, and the pace and the schedule that we have with the team, it's just, these days just fly by. Absolutely love to stay for the full 6 weeks, but we've got 3 awesome boys at home that need a parent, and I am happy to go fulfill that role. So that's why I'll be headed home. I'm super excited to see them.
I will. Love you. We'll see you in 3 weeks.
Oh my gosh, you
Sounds
guys.
good. It's gonna go fast. Yes.
All right. Love you, brother.
And I just kind of feel, the bitter part of this thing is I feel like I'm deserting the team, I know they don't feel that way, and they are all really excited for me to get home and spend time with the family. But I'm like, man, I wish I could be there for these guys and see the rest of the things that they're gonna see. But all in all, it's mostly sweet because I get to go home to my beautiful family, which I'm really, really excited about. So here we go.
All right. See you later.
All right, baby. Until next time.
Until next time. This trip is no joke. This is serious stuff. And now we're on to phase 2. It's go time again. So let's go.